Okay, YouTube, it is time to review The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, before we get into this review, this was the cover art, sick little hardcover. Before we get into the review, I want to say that I feel like I'm a mood reader, you know, so I just like read whenever I want to read. But also that kind of means that if I like the story, then I just like it, you know? So, I might be giving a lot of books a 5 out of 5 because that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Now, this book, in my opinion, is better than the first book because I feel like it just is very fast-paced and there's just a lot of stuff going on in this book, a lot of action. It's the middle book, so that's kind of to be expected. And yeah, let's jump into it. My favorite scene, or like, because there's you're following the company that's split up, so different chapters are with different parts of the companionship of the first book. So I think my favorite one was the underrated duo of Merry and Pippin when they are captured by the orcs, and then they kind of outsmart the orcs and escape and leave trails for Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli. Boom. All right, we'll just put this here. Bam. Yeah, that was my favorite chapter. And then they meet the Ents, who are literally some of the oldest species ever. So I'm a fan of, you know, the olden talk of the Middle Earth. So the fact that this species is still alive, and they're like literally been there since the beginning, I'm pretty sure, is sick to me. And they were a huge part in destroying Sauron's army and place of Isengard. So I kind of like that. I like how Merry and Pippin were on their own little quest. They get captured, they meet some awesome allies, and then they play a huge part in kind of just like capturing Saruman, and he's kind of just like under the watchful eyes of the Ents now. So I don't know if he's going to play any more parts like Saruman in the third book, but yeah, shout out Merry and Pippin. That was awesome. That was sick. I think that was underrated. And yeah, that was my favorite chapter. I have one gripe. So now we're going to move on to one gripe about the book, is that the Battle of Helm's Deep, I don't think Tolkien's the best with battles. It kind of seemed like, I don't know, it was a little everywhere. It was kind of hard to follow what the heck was going on, but it was like epic because you knew like what was happening. Of course, like Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas, and all the people of Romir, I'm gonna butcher it. They're fighting the orcs and all those people, the mutant orcs and wolves and whatnot and evil men. But yeah, I think he's kind of not the best at writing those, but that's not really why you're reading the story for like battle scenes, because like that was like the one epic battle scene, and then the rest are kind of just like told to you in a format like, oh, the Ents destroyed Isengard with the flood and they're just like watching over it, you know. But that's my one gripe. I don't think he's the best at writing of like what the heck is going on. It was just confusing. I don't know, but that's my one gripe. I am going to rate this a 5 out of 5. Like I said, I'm an easy reader. Like, you know, I like it. It's a 5. And I like this more than the first book. I just think it was better paced, maybe. I don't even know. It just seemed like so much was happening, but this was only 350 pages again. So, just like the first book, a lot happens. And it's not a big page count. So I'm like very impressed. Very impressed. I literally just finished it like not even 10 minutes ago. So I just thought I'd hop into the review. So let me try to think about what else. Let's talk about the unexpected trio of Gollum, Sam, and Frodo. That was, yeah, I did not expect that to go on. I knew Gollum was up to something, but you couldn't tell what because he was being helpful. But you know, Golem and Sam like fighting over food and having their weird relationship was really funny. And I don't know, it was a funny little trio, unexpected little trio. Oh yeah, shout out Gandalf coming back, Gandalf the White. Holy aura, holy, that was awesome. I did remember that from the movie, so I didn't want to say that in my first review, but I did remember that from the movies that he comes back in white. But I like that he has like Shadow Fox and all that. It's cool. He's cool. Shout out that. So now let's go on to my favorite quote, and this was from the Battle of Helm's Deep. It's kind of just a cool quote. It's not even like a insightful, thought-provoking quote. It's just cool. I liked it when Aragorn, who's one of my favorite characters, he is lifting up his sword, Anduril, and it's like part a quote from like the men who are seeing him fight, and it's also just like a quote from Tolkien. I don't know. It says, Anduril rose and fell gleaming with white fire. And then it, in quotations, like the men who are like seeing Aragorn fight, they're like shouting, Anduril goes to war, the blade that was broken shines again. And I don't know, it's just cool that Aragorn's giving hope to those people, because those are men of Gondor. So again, Aragorn being Isindil's heir and having that sword that was broken is like their homecoming almost. It's like their token of peace and like of the king of returning, you know. He is like Gondor's heir pretty much of the land. And so like it being like fulfilled that like the sword is back is like gleaming with hope and stuff, and I thought that was cool. He's kind of the GOAT. That's why I like Aragorn a lot. What else? Oh yeah, let's talk about the ending. I thought Frodo was just gonna die. I thought he was dead from Shelob, that weird little spider. Turns out, you know, he's not, but I don't know what's gonna happen because he's asleep and he's captured. So it's like they said he's gonna wake up from being poisoned. Don't worry, I edit that out. No. He's gonna wake up from being poisoned, but he's still captured by the orcs. And then Sam took the ring and he's wearing the ring. So it's like, is Sam gonna end up being the king bearer now? Or the ring bearer? I don't really know. But I'm really curious how Frodo's gonna escape this. And I'm wondering where the heck, like, Aragorn, Legolas, Gandalf, Gimli, like, come into play. If they come into play in the last book, because they're not in Mordor right now. It's just Sam, Gollum, and Frodo. So, yeah, we're going to have to hop into the next book and see. What else? There's something else. Oh, yeah. If Frodo is, like, I know he's alive, but, like, if he escapes and he's, like, all well with it and he doesn't die from the orcs, then the third book is called The Return of the King, and, like, he had a lot of like kingly moments in this book. So like with the royalties in the Middle Earth like stories, and like with Gandalf and like anyone who has like a kingly presence, they have moments where it's like showing like their aura of king. I don't even know how to put it. Like it'll state like they stood taller or something, or like they seemed taller, or they gleamed with some type of aura, like literally. And Frodo had one of the moments when he was talking with Gollum, and he was making like almost a threat, but he's like, it was like an honorable threat, like a king would. So it's like, it got me thinking, you know, like he's gonna be some type of royalty if he does survive all this, because he's kind of the GOAT for doing this whole quest. And he had that moment where Sam saw him in like a higher fashion and he stood taller and whatnot. He had the same like kingly aura that like, I keep saying that, but like Gandalf had those moments, you know, Elrond had those moments, Aragorn had those moments. All those are like royalty within the Middle Earth, and Gandalf's like the head of the council now because he's the color white. So, oh my gosh, it's sick. Yeah, so Frodo's gonna be the king of something. Like the king of, even, he could be the king of men. Or, no, I guess that's Aragorn, but king of hobbits or something? I don't know. But yeah, that's my review with the Two Towers. I don't know how this is gonna end. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about, first off, don't know how this is gonna end. This is crazy. It's the middle book, so it's like supposed to be a cliffhanger, but it's like it just dropped off. Like I thought we'd get some type of, oh, I know what's gonna happen, but it's like no, nope, don't know where Legolas, any of them are. Where's the crew again? Oh yeah, shout out Boromir for dying. And I guess he kind of redeemed himself. I like his brother a lot better, Faramir. Faramir's the goat. I don't know. I just didn't like Boromir anyways, so I was okay with him dying. He didn't make up for it, but yeah, we'll just gloss over that because his brother is the better brother. But how is it gonna end? No idea. I wanted to talk about one last thing, and it was the way Saruman, like, or Sauron is like a villain who doesn't get any dialogue or screen time, right? But he's like an ever looming, ever present threat. And I get it's like his eye, right? Which is like the presence, but it's like he doesn't have any scenes. Like he's not ever talking with his minions or anything. Like there's no scenes. But like he is done so well to where you're dreading him somehow. So I don't know, it's done really well. He literally doesn't have any scenes, no dialogue. The only scene we really get with him is like a flashback when, of course, like he made the ring, deceived the others. He made the ring, got his hand chopped off, went away. They thought he was dead, and now he's back. But it's like there is no actual scenes with him, if that makes sense. There's no dialogue scenes, nothing like that. But he's so present in the story, so it's like you don't really see villains like that ever. You know, they normally have something going on, but nope. And also, if someone can let me know if the Eye of Sauron is one of those 7 stones, the Plantiers from the old ages, is that one of the Plantiers that, like just one of them? Because Saruman has one of them, right? And he's communicating with Sauron. But is the Eye of Sauron an old Plantier that he just corrupted and is using to like oversee everything? Someone let me know. Okay, 5 out of 5. We are going to see if Tolkien can close this trilogy out because I have faith in him. I feel like it's going to be fast-paced again, so I got faith in him. Look out for the review. Oh my gosh, look out.